Hi there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. I am Bob. I am back. How are you doing today? I want to give a big shout out to Autumn for hosting the last 2 weeks while I was away on vacation. She did a great job. And I really appreciate all the help of letting me get away for things. I want to start our show. My main guest is having some problems, and somebody's trying to fix that with them now. So I am going to get us started with the first thing is we have the submarine that is in the news, and everybody as we're recording this live at 4 o'clock let's see, it is 4 o'clock on Thursday. That's what I am doing. And it is apparent now that the submersible that's out there and doing is no longer in existence. It broke apart. So that would have been my story this week that I would have talked about no matter what, because that was the big thing that was going on. And here is my amazing fill-in co-host person, Autumn.
Y'all thought you were rid of me.
Never. So our official guest may still be logging in. She's scrambling to try and fix a connection. So we'll see what happens. I was just saying that the story this week that I saw earlier this week when I was away on vacation was, hey, there's a submarine that's going to go visit the Titanic, and isn't this a cool thing?
They thought.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's not funny. People lost their lives.
Yeah. No, and that's actually
for their families.
Yeah. And we talk about this on the show several times about how cool it is to go off into space. And, we've talked about whether they're astronauts because they paid for a spot to go up or down and stuff like that. This is even harder than space in a lot of ways. And if you haven't seen all of the news stories, give it a moment. Read more than just the headlines, though, please. Because I followed scientists who have been on that actual sub last year. And they were like, yeah, this is not a toy. This is not a thing that anybody just should be casually doing. Page 1 of the documentation mentions possible death 3 times. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, look at your risks for surgery.
Yeah.
And that's something we know and a lot of doctors are fairly comfortable with. And it's still like, oh my God, you could die.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, at least in this instance, they could have been saved.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah.
I mean, but if something bad happens in space, they're not.
You're gone or anyway too.
They're not coming for you. It's not happening.
No. Yeah.
So at least here they could launch a rescue mission in an attempt.
Yep.
Whereas if you're an astronaut, and I do air quotes because yes, you have some of the mid training that the people who go up there as a profession get. They're not coming for you. You're done.
Yeah.
Hope you ask the dudes from Apollo 13.
Yeah.
Sorry, boys. Gotta figure it out.
We have a bigger issue. But the other thing that I thought was cool about this story, and now I'm going to share my stream up here of these, was there was another boat, another old shipwreck that was in the news this week. And I thought it was cool. And I'm like, oh, cool. Here's these, these people going off to do the Titanic. But look, we've got a 3,000-year-old ship instead.
Yeah, that's pretty
so
cool.
I know, Autumn, probably you haven't even seen these stories yet.
I haven't. Where is this? This looks Dutch.
So this is no. This is actually off the coast of Croatia.
Oh, is it in the Black Sea?
No.
I know there's quite a few shipwrecks in the Black Sea.
No. It's in the it's in the Mediterranean.
Okay.
One of the things that makes this one so interesting is that this is a sewn boat.
Well,
meaning it was fabric and reeds and all those things sewn together. And it is from before the time we used metal.
I mean, technically I have a boat, and technically my boat is fabric.
Huh?
It's fiberglass.
Oh, nice point. There we go. Man, she is smart. Okay.
That's why I said technically. It's not sewn though.
Yeah, this is sewn. This is an interesting one. 12th and 10th centuries BC. BE, but before Common Era. And yeah, so it's this French Croatian team, which is how it came up on my news feeds while I was in France. And they are going to slowly but surely take this thing apart in as large of pieces as possible, bring it up off the bottom of the ocean, install it in a new saltwater tank so that it keeps all of its stuff together. It doesn't dry out, doesn't do all these things, and then study it and then put it on display in the museum.
Yeah, with something that old that's been underwater that long, you can't just dry it out.
No. So it's a really interesting thing. It's a 39-foot long boat, 23-foot wide. So you mentioned up on the North Sea idea. Yeah, this is kind of like a coracle, which is what those almost round boats look like that they used to sail around Ireland, the United Kingdom. Well, the lands where those countries now exist. So
they weren't any of that
at
that point.
Yep.
So
this is just one of those cool stories. And I thought, oh, hey, here's these cool, really fun things I'll juxtapose. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's been a long day, the first day back. But then I was like, oh man, it's summer learning. Hey, Oceans of Possibility was last year. So let's do all these stories about oceans again. That'd be a fun way to kick off the fun thing. And here's this other thing about the orcas attacking boats up in the North Sea. And you might remember we talked about this. You talked about this.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because that echoed things we talked about way back when. This has been this is the fourth time we've talked about orcas.
Yeah, it's been happening for years.
Yeah,
the orcas.
We talked about them wearing the dead fish on their heads for a few months. It was a fad among the teenage orcas, and then it went away. And now bashing in boats off the coast of Spain is a new thing. But the reason
they've been doing it off the coast of Spain for a while.
Yeah,
but Scotland, this is new.
This is new. This is different. I mean,
they travel, so
no, that's the thing.
Well,
this is a different. Exactly. Now you got it. This is a different group of orcas.
And they're like
different types of pods. They communicate somehow. They communicated with each other.
They talk. Right. I mean, it's not people language, but they talk.
No. Right. Yeah. They communicated what they were doing down off the coast of Spain, and now the different types and different pods of orcas up in the North Atlantic are now doing this also. Yeah. They don't travel in between the two. They don't interact. They're not like one pod's here and then they vacation up north or anything like that. Totally different ones have learned the same kind of thing. And they're trying to figure out, did they actually communicate it? Yeah. Like two orcas talking to each other and give across a complex idea like this? Or is this just something that these orcas up north just developed and started doing too because
they're sick of boats?
I was going to say teenagers all across the world tend to do similar things because they're just teenagers.
I saw a video recently of an orca launching a ray in the air. Yeah, it's just like, I'm sick of you. Boom.
Yep. Yeah. They're just big bully thing, or maybe they're playing. They think they're playing. They're
so small.
Yeah, I know.
It's funny.
So
orcas, jerks of the sea. It's great.
Oh man.
Wasn't there like a horror movie?
Yes, there's some sort. Yeah, somebody made it like a Jaws spin-off kind of thing with orcas. Yeah, they did that. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds dumb. Okay, cool.
You're the movie person, not me. I can't imagine how making a movie about orcas is going to be very fun.
Actually,
Not Free
wait.
Willy. We're talking something else.
No, God, no.
Horror
This is
movie
something
kind of thing.
dramatically different.
I get you. I get that part of it. Okay. So, but speaking of people being jerks,
Ah,
here's our story about
Amazon.
yes. This is an interesting one. So, this is a story about it's a practice actually that is called dark patterns. And so, what dark patterns are? Do you know what dark patterns are? Autumn?
No.
Okay. So, a dark pattern means when you design a website or similar type things, that it is hard to follow the pattern, or it's something that does a different type pattern than everything else. And you've seen these. Everyone listening to this has seen these. And I'll give you a really good example. In your email, if you look at the bottom of your email, you're trying to unsubscribe from this email that you didn't really want to get, and you have to hunt around on the email to find it, or you have to scroll down. It's all the way at the bottom, and it's a super light font and a smaller font at the bottom to unsubscribe kind of thing. That's what a dark pattern is. It's something to confuse the users and try to make them do something else. So the FTC is suing Amazon over deceptive practices, meaning that they are saying that Amazon was making it hard for people to unsubscribe from Prime, their subscription service, or making it confusing about what you were buying so that people thought they were buying an item when they actually ended up buying Prime. Uh-huh. Yeah, I see that face.
I mean, I haven't seen anything like that, but I've also been a Prime member. God, I don't even know how long. It's been a long time.
Yeah, very long time.
It's
Yeah,
been a
I'm one of the
long
originals.
time, like decade, if not longer. Whenever, like basically when it
2000,
started.
I think it was 2000. Let me double check that. I think it's 2000. Yeah, 2005.
Yeah. So I was still finishing my undergrad. And so I signed up as soon as it was available from a student.
For the EDUs? Yeah.
Yeah. So I've had it since then.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't get these emails and see these things.
Well, it's not so much emails from them. It wasn't emails from Amazon. I was just using
okay.
emails as an example
Okay.
of what dark patterns are. So the FTC's complaint is that people would go to an item and click on it with the idea that they were purchasing the item at that price. And what they were doing is purchasing the item at that price plus joining Prime.
Oh, that's shady.
Well, if you read the button, it says buy now or buy with Prime.
Okay, so
yeah,
I mean,
I know
you're not paying attention to which button you're clicking.
Well, and see, this is right.
Shady.
This is a twofold story there. One, is it deceptive practices or is it the fault of the user for not reading?
If there are two separate buttons, right. One that says this, and one that says buy now with Prime.
Yeah, and Prime will get it to you in 2 days, free shipping.
I mean,
yeah, I know.
I know their legal department went over it.
Yeah, and that's what Amazon's claiming is like, hey, we're not doing anything different than every other company store out there. And people are, because it's Amazon and it's, people like picking on the big five.
There's so many other reasons to pick on them. This doesn't seem like a super valid one to me.
And then here's my other question for you, Autumn. Do you want Congress writing a law that says what your website can look like so it's not deceptive?
They have better stuff to deal with, for me personally, in my opinion, than then you can't put that button there.
I know. I don't get it.
Okay.
I really don't. I mean, I understand the FTC's complaint. But part of it is that there's not good regulation for what's going to happen. And I'll give the example of the privacy regulations that Amazon did violate or the FTC previously said they violated. In May, Amazon agreed to pay for a settlement for privacy lapses with Alexa and Ring units. Sorry if I just set anybody's devices off. And they said, we didn't do anything wrong. We disagree with what the FTC said. But Amazon basically admitted, we're going to pay $30 million fine because it's cheaper to just pay the $30 million fine than to actually fight them in court.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I work somewhere where I have a job. Shut up. Where I know people tend not to read signs.
Yeah.
Not necessarily here where I work now, but I have watched people walk up to a computer that says this station is out of service.
Yeah.
Lift up the sign and then try to use it. So this doesn't surprise me that somebody isn't really paying attention. They see, oh, buy now, click. I'm going to get it in 2 days. That's not Amazon's fault.
Yeah.
That you didn't, because it says. And
there's
you
obviously
can't
more to the story, right?
Ignorance.
Obviously, the FTC thinks there's a lot more to the story, and obviously politics come into it because they can make an example of Amazon, and then hopefully other companies will change their practices. But I question.
But is it really their fault? I mean, from what I'm hearing,
it's a marketing thing.
The answer is no.
Yeah,
it really isn't.
It's a marketing thing. It's do you believe in marketing or not? And speaking of believing in, who do you believe more? Which of these two women would you believe more when they're talking to you and giving you your news?
I don't know.
Because metahumans, or using avatars from the metaverse as a way.
Love it.
The one on the right, by the way, is the avatar. The one on the left,
facing.
The one that's facing you. The one that's in profile, the one on the left,
is real.
Is the actual reporter.
Is a physical human.
Is a physical human.
The one on the right isn't real. That's not true.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of, we're getting into really weird territory soon.
What is
or
human?
Now? We've been in weird territory for a while, but it's going to get really strange here. And the reason I bring this up is twofold. One, I got lots of twos today. This is something that's happening now. And it's in my opinion, this is a really good story because Nadira, who is the newest anchor on their TV show there, and this is happening, by the way, is not Malaysia, Indonesia. It's in Indonesia. And they are one of the anchors that does some of their reporting in English. Perfect, well-spoken English. Even though the reporter doesn't speak perfect portioned English. Because they've taken her real reporting, fed that into the avatar, and it's speaking it back out in either American English or British English or Chinese, or let's make sure the Javanese and Sundanese also. 5 different languages that you can choose to listen to your news stories from. And there are 32 languages in Indonesia, and that's why they're getting started with the big 5.
Right. So I guess the actual question is whose stories are these? Is this the physical human?
The physical human. The physical human is writing the stories. Okay. She's doing it live.
So at least they haven't outsourced her job.
Correct. Right. And that is exactly one of the points about this. Do you think they're really going to hire 31 different anchors so that they can do the newscast in 31 different languages?
No. I mean,
so it's not like they're going to take anybody's job away. They're just going to get more. And especially just imagine if you could go in and you're watching a newscast from Indonesia and you're trying to learn another language. And I speak English most of the time fairly well. And I can now try to learn Mandarin or Sudanese or whichever by listening to it in the other way and knowing, hey, I just did this in English, now I can do this here, and it's real time, real news.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. It's a quick and easy way, particularly in a country that has so many different languages spoken.
Yeah.
That people who maybe don't feel as represented can get the same information that everyone else gets, so long as it always is the same information. Right?
Yeah. And that's the thing. The source of the information is very different than who's presenting the information. And this is only talking about presenting the information.
Yeah. And that, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. More power to them.
And later on in this article, I really wish I had sent you these articles just because this is such a cool one. Oh, don't worry about it. You didn't even know you were doing this until
like
we're 21 minutes into the show and you knew you were doing this 22 minutes ago.
Surprise.
The immigration office actually uses 4 of these in different versions at their immigration office now. Because Indonesia's like, we got to start doing this. We got to start moving.
No, that's great.
We need some way to pull this off. So it's becoming a common thing
to use this type of thing.
Yeah.
However, I just saw a thing on the news. Now, I don't know how much truth is behind it because there were no clips. There was no verification or whatsoever or whatever. This morning, I believe it was on our local CBS affiliate that was talking about scammers who, if you've posted any videos online with your voice, that they are ingesting people's voices and using AI generated speech to make phone calls to friends and loved ones in pleas for money. Now, I know none of my family's going to believe that. That's just me. They're going to be like, yeah, right. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And I know if I'm getting a phone call from a number that isn't mine and my mom already hasn't told me, I'm going to be somewhere else, I know it's a bunch of crap. Perfectly honest. And if the number isn't in my phone, I'm not answering it anyway.
I'm glad I'm in your phone.
Even if you do need help. So just so you know that, Bob. If you need help and you call me from a number I don't know, I am picking it up.
Yeah, I didn't think so. You barely pick up my calls as it is sometimes.
I hate the phone. I hate it.
Many people do. By the way, if you want to dive into these show, unlike Autumn, you have access to the full notes in our show notes. All of these articles are fully linked there for you, everybody. So you can go in and read and give your own ideas and give us some comments, give us some feedback here on what you think about these ideas, because we're moving into a new world. This is not, it could be happening. It has happened. And if you're like, oh, who cares? It's Indonesia. Indonesia has about 80% of the population of the United States. So other countries that are as popular as populous are able to pull this off and make it happen.
I mean, it'll happen. I mean, it might be a little longer for here in the US, but I can see it happening for someplace like Canada.
Can you imagine India?
Oh, jeez.
How many different languages they have and billions of people,
different dialects and
how much that would help them.
Yeah, but I mean, like even in North America, somewhere like Canada, where they have 2 different languages.
Yeah.
Right? They have English and French. And boom. They can take care of that a little easier. By the way, Orca was 1977.
Wow. You have an amazing movie memory.
I mean, it starred Richard Harris. So, like, this isn't like some second-rate garbage movie. I mean, it was, but it wasn't.
Okay. You know what? I got another second-rate thing that's not
Bo Derek was in there.
I got a thing that's not second-rate that some people might think is second-rate for your program you're doing tomorrow.
Oh, look here. I'm going to throw something at you.
See, that was a nice little
lucky you're
segue.
up on the 6th floor and I can't reach you right now.
Tell us about
Yes,
what this
so-
program is tomorrow night. Anybody who's here in South Florida needs to be
So
here.
this is coming up here at the main library tomorrow night. Main After Dark, all together now. So this is celebrating our summer learning program. And we don't do a whole lot of after hours events, or at least we haven't since I want to
Post.
say probably 2018.
Yeah.
This is the first one since then. So we will have Across the Universe, I can talk, playing the music of the Beatles. We also have our Fort Lauderdale Ukulele Network, also known as Fun, coming
Nice.
in. They will be playing for karaoke, so this is going to be great. We have vendors. We have let's see, we have a gentleman or someone coming for doing doing an art installation, not an installation, but helping people
Exhibition.
coming to create art. They're
Nice.
creating. Everybody
Nice,
can
nice,
create
nice.
art. So that'll be cool. Our friends of the library will be selling drinks. They will be selling wine. 2
This
glasses
is an
for
adult.
$10.
This is an adult thing.
adult
I mean,
event.
if you brought you, this is the thing to leave your
I mean,
little
it
kids.
says it's for adults.
Yeah, leave the kids home. This is an adult event at the library after hours. This is meant for adults to come and have fun and not have to
Yes.
worry about the kids. So go get a sitter and come hang
and
out.
have fun.
6:30 to 9 o'clock.
Yes, and the band's playing from 7 to 8:30. So,
That'll be
but there
awesome.
will be stuff going on all night.
I've heard this
And,
band. They're pretty good.
They're not too bad.
No
comment.
One other quick thing for you, though. I got to interrupt on that one because we got to get out of here. I am actually doing a program with a submarine this Saturday at the North Regional Library.
No comment.
So from 11 to 12, North Regional Library is up at the Broward College North Campus. Come find us there. We'll be in one of the 2 lakes on campus, going down to look and see what's in the lakes. You can see a remote control submarine and stream it and see it. And we'll
It's
talk
actually
about
tethered to something.
Yeah, we're tethered. And we'll talk about how the other one turned out.
There's
and
also nobody in it.
possibilities.
So
There's
I
nobody
mean, it's
in it.
way too small.
Yeah.
So and also super quick. I know you don't have it up there right now, but on Saturday here at the main library from 3 to 4 p.m.
You mean
we
that one
have
right
the
there?
Nihon Buyo. There we go. Japanese classical dance here at the main library. It is going to be on the first floor. These are always amazing programs from Murakami, regardless of what they do, whether it's for children, whether it's for adults. This one is basically for everybody. It can be a family event. So please come and check that out as well. If you can't come tomorrow for our Beatles program, please come Saturday for the Japanese classical dance. We've got lots of good stuff going on here over the summer.
Yeah, it is an amazing thing. We get tons and tons. Thank you so much for answering the phone call at the very last second, Autumn. You've
No
saved
worries.
us again.
Always.
Always. And if there is a favorite librarian or library you want to see featured on the show, as always, reach out. creationstation@broward.org. We'll see everybody next week.
Oh, it's over here. My name. Ask for me.